Welcome to Unbiased and On the Fence. I'm Shane. Thank you all so much for joining. It's Tuesday, and we are joined with Michelle Wolfe. Let me put it on you first and unmute you. Okay. Are you messing with me? You got me. You totally got me.
Yeah, totally messing with you. Listen, it's how I start every one of my shows now, apparently, with about 5 minutes of me doing...
Or the echo. Yeah, it's hard to remember to turn off hearing yourself or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Well, what it inspired though is a new idea. I didn't get to do it last night because unfortunately I did. You know what? It held for 2 hours and then it cut me out. But I had a game I was going to play, which is the lip syncing mime challenge. So in other words, I'm going to lip sync to a song. Can't hear. You gotta guess what it is.
Oh my god.
Tomorrow night. Be there. It's gonna happen. I have the song picked out and everything. So
now, I did want to tell people, of course your links are below and everything, but you put out this video yesterday called The Essence of an Artist. And it was really cool. I could tell you put a lot of time and love and effort into it. And I did link it below. If anybody missed out on it, you can go check it out. Actually, let me share my screen because I wanted to present a Mandela effect to you.
Okay.
Without, just sort of like...
See my reaction?
I want to get your first impression of this. So anyway...
Yeah, I hope I'm not the Mandela effect.
No. So here's the cool video. I'll let you guys go check it out yourself. It's really cool, though. Let me see. I thought it really embodied the whole idea of artists. I know artists will really appreciate it.
So many of us are artists, and I think that's what I was really looking to address with that. Why are so many of us artists?
Yeah.
What is it about the artist, whether it's the dancer or the musician or the visual artist or the writer, so many of us. And that's why we've taken to all aspects of this awakening process is because it draws you in creatively. So what is it about the artists that seem to be leading the way in this work, and why? And that's really what I was addressing. So
that's a weird flashy background thing going on there. Do you see
that?
Yeah,
what is with that?
Nobody else sees it, just you. Okay, so before we get to the Mandela effect, I just did want to point out the Schumann because it was absolutely going nuts the last few days, and now it's sort of quieted down. But look at this weird anomaly right here.
What time was that at?
It's really weird. It was about 12 hours ago or so.
Oh yeah, it was in the or 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
About 5 in the morning, so 4 in the morning my time. Yeah, it's always right around then, right?
Yeah, and then another blast. Now this is how it's been looking like. It just scrolled out of view, but it was like this, like big blocks of this off the chart sort of blast, and now we got.
Yeah, I got pictures of it. I've been tracking it and taking pictures, and then just dropping it all in a file. So I'm getting like good shots of it, especially when it peaks like that.
Yeah.
But, I certainly noticed it.
And still that dotted line here at the 25 hertz or so.
Yeah.
24 point something. Okay, so the Mandela effect. This is what I want to find out. It might not have been a big thing in Canada, but I want to even ask everybody in the chat. Do you guys remember, like in the 80s, the popularity of the Converse shoes? Particularly the ones that were more of the high top style. They were.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Do you remember like it having the little round star on the side of it?
Yeah.
Okay. Where was that star? Was it on the outside or was it on the inside? And the only reason I'm bringing this up, it's been out a while, but I was talking to Sherry Overprotected, and she hadn't heard about it. And she, like, I never present a Mandela effect to her that she hasn't heard of. So when I found out she didn't hear about it, I'm like, okay, so there's probably other people that haven't heard of this one. But where do you remember that star? Was it like if you have your feet together, were the logos facing each other, or were they facing outward? Like,
Outward.
and how many
But
people
I
are?
didn't own a pair. But I did not own a pair.
Oh, right, right. So yeah, yeah, the Converse with the little star, and I think I owned one pair, but everybody had them. Okay, the
Yeah.
carp is saying they were on the inside, so you think they were facing each other. So if you were standing with your feet together, you wouldn't be able to see the logo, is what you
Right. Well,
think.
that doesn't make sense on a designing and
No,
marketing point, does it?
no, it doesn't make
So they
sense.
were on the outside, weren't they?
Yeah, and I remember actually, as a kid, you draw, and the cool figures
Hmm.
that characters you draw had Converse shoes on, at least,
Yeah, they were high up, and it was about the symbol was about like yay big, and yeah, this
Okay.
with the star in it, and it was on the outside, of course.
Yeah, it's about the
This
size
was
of maybe a half dollar or something, or I
what's
don't know,
that?
about the size of a half dollar or something but they were on the outside. So if you were standing there, for me anyway, they were on the outer part. So if somebody had their feet together, standing with their feet together, you could still see it from the side. But
Hmm.
now, and I checked. I'm like, well, maybe they changed it for some stupid reason. Because who would ever put the star on the
There.
inside?
Oh, but that's
Look,
wrong.
look at it.
But okay, this is a perfect example of
How
okay, it
ridiculous
doesn't
they
make
are sometimes.
it doesn't make sense.
It
Like I
doesn't.
said, from a design and marketing standpoint, why would they ever do that? Because they didn't. I think so many of the things that you point out with these Mandela effects is the changes, for somebody to say, oh, it's always been that way, but it doesn't make sense. Like the changes that happen are not changes for the better necessarily. They're not
No, they're
a better
almost
idea.
ridiculous. That's why a lot of them are so ridiculous. I'm like, I can't see a million timelines where you could jump to a different timeline. That's why I don't really go for the whole timeline thing as much as a lot of other people. But I don't see them ever saying, well, let's put on the inside where if people are just standing there, you're not going to see it.
Yeah.
Why would you hide it like
They,
that?
they showed it. They showed it right. I remember it being on the ankle, like on the nub of the ankle, but it would be on
Yeah.
the outside.
Yeah. But now it's on the inside. How hilarious
It
is this?
doesn't make sense. You're going to invest that much in a Converse shoe, and you're not going to put your label on the outside where people can see it. Duh.
That's so funny. Okay.
This was so many of them get me like that. It's like, yeah, but it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense at all. So yeah, now they're on the inside. So I thought, a lot of people, even if you didn't own it, it's like if you went to school in the '80s, somebody was wearing them.
Everybody.
Yeah, at least one person, but like multiple people were wearing them. They put funny shoelaces in it to like make it their own styles, and
They
I mean,
tape them up to make them last longer.
right, or take the laces out of them or whatever. But
Yeah.
they, I've looked at them plenty of times, and I drew them plenty of times. With characters I would create as a kid and stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
don't know. There's no
And how
doubt in
many
my
people
mind it used
looking
to
at
be.
it that they're wearing Converse? And you know what? That's a great point. I wonder if we can catch it in cartoon animation
Yeah, that's a good
after the
point.
fact. Because that's how you can trick it up and get it. And that's a good point because you can see you yourself drew that quite a bit. I bet you there's lots of other examples because of like it was
Like
a
didn't
style thing.
like Fat
Predominant.
Albert the cartoon. It seems like like they probably would have been wearing some of them. Trying to
So I
think.
would think, yeah, you might be able to catch it the proper way, right?
Yeah,
On the inside.
yeah. I'll have to look more into that because I bet I don't know. Sometimes stuff changes with it, and it just
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah. It's like the Mandela effect. Sylvia saying changed it to make it hidden. So yeah, it's totally what it's like. It's like someone else was saying, from an advertising standpoint, that's silly. Imagine if like the Nike logo was just on the inside by sort of the arch of the foot, and then you couldn't tell that
Yeah.
it was a Nike on the outside.
Yeah.
I
But
think
they'll
they're on
spend
both sides,
how
but
much on marketing commercials?
right.
But they can't put a label on the right side of the shoe.
Yeah. So yeah, it appears that it's always been that way, like
Yeah.
like a true Mandela effect. So, but anyway, yeah, I thought that was a good one that a lot of people might not be aware of. So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Wow.
I've been dealing with a cough
For
and stuff
sure.
like that. And I don't know. It could be that I'm fighting something off. I don't know. But then I talked to you, and you were talking about a lot of people are getting like throat activation or throat chakra activations.
Yeah.
And so I like the sound of that a lot better than I'm just catching some kind of cold bug going around or something.
Yeah. Well, I've been really feeling the stimulation myself, and was have been searching for the words for it. And it, because it's creating all these really tingly sensations, tingly, buzzy, electric um, connections. Uh, so I've seen, Aluna did mention it again as well, that a lot of people may be feeling that. So she did mention it. And then just before we were talking this morning, I found a good video on higher self that was talking about these symptoms. And I like the way they put it. I'm like, okay, that's what it is, because it's really feeling like the pineal gland in the center. I'm feeling like I have more connections stemming off. If you can, it's like one of those pictures when you see all the currents going through the brain, as it's working and it's firing off all these currents. So it really is what it's feeling like. It's like if you took that activation core, whether it's the third eye or it's the pineal gland or whatever it is, well, I'm definitely feeling the core of that energy. And and with that and this pineal activation, it is causing the fluids again, sinus drain, itchiness in the throat, the ears, drainage in the ears as well too. And for me personally, what I am feeling is new sensations in the way that it feels like there's new currents, new pathways to new ways of feeling things. So when I'm feeling the energy now, I'm feeling all these connections, like everything being connected, whether it's the sinuses and the ears, the ear canal, the senses there, and in the throat, in the teeth. And I actually wrote a note about the teeth because I had an idea about this and regarding my dream with my teeth falling out and it being an activation dream, because what I'm feeling is a lot of when the energy comes in and I'm getting the thrumming and the buzzing, it's getting very continually now. It's like a staticky electricity kind of feeling all in my jaws and in my teeth that I'm getting along with it. So this really is every single day, since we talked last week and we talked the week before, really since the 11/11, I am again consistently, it's not slowing down. The sensations and the amount, when we first talked, it was like a zap, zap. I'm getting these weird, zap, like it would just happen like once, in just one spot. But when it got connected, the first day it was like maybe I felt it like 3 times. Now it's a continual thing. I think it's like I get used to it. So it's there, but I've gotten used to sort of the level of charge. So it's the amount of time that it's happening, like it's happening more often. So it really feels like an adjusted flow. And with that, I'll get the acceleration of the sensations in the throat. It can make me cough a little bit, itchy, a scratchy throat. And I think with a lot of the activations, there's itchy sensations too. A lot of heat, itching, numbness again in the hands and the palms of the hands. And when getting those activations and those itching, and I really think that's kind of part of what you're feeling, with all these new connections being made. You may be feeling it predominantly in your throat area, but really what is going on is not actually just connected to the throat. I don't believe that it is just a throat chakra activation. I think this is really like everything coming online, and it's all new. These are new connections, so they can make us feel certain ways that are different and unusual, and we might not totally recognize that they're connected, that the sensations are connected. But what I've noticed is as the sensations build, as the amount that it's happening, the amount of power that it's happening is allowing me to more and more and more sensory feel the multitude of connections that are going on, so that it is not just a throat chakra activation that you're feeling an itchy throat for. What's happening in this is this energy is coming, it's hitting, it's hitting the pineal gland or the chakra and the crown and the third eye, and it's pulsing out and it's activating. And picture it like these currents, right? You have all these pathways and currents, but they're new currents. So it's not, just like the fire hose, it's a brand new current. I feel like we got all these fire hoses going everywhere, going in teeth, going up, for all stemming, all these new pathways stemming from there. And it's like that fire hose, and they turn on, and I don't want to put it full blast right away, right? Because you got to unravel the hose. And so it's like they'll put on a little bit and then, ease it up a little, maybe when it gets to a part where it's kind of rolled up tight, they'll ease up the flow, but they'll let it, push a little bit at a time. And then as it unrolls, okay, we can turn it, we can blast it open a little bit again. And then if it hits a little bit of tight, well, we'll ease it up a little bit, ease up the flow. But this is a continual process now. It's not just like a pressing a button going, I really feel like it is measuring the flow for those connections. So you have all these different fire hoses going off, and this energy is, okay, well, let's work at exercise, stretch out this way, uncoil, the hose over here to those connections. And so we're feeling the result of that. It could be just feeling it simply as an itchy throat, or you could feel like when you're getting your itchy throat, you can feel it connected into like somebody's stretching your ear canal, or your ear, inside your ears itchy or burny, or the ringing kicks in, or maybe your vision blurs and your throat's itchy. So it's combining now, and you're feeling a combination of these sensations as really the energy, boom, comes in, hits, boo, shoots out all these new different connections.
Yeah,
right?
I've been
it's
having
literally down and doing that through each, all the way to the root chakra, and then right out through my feet. I am now constantly and consistently feeling the energy current flow going down and coming out through the feet constantly. How much I feel it is increasing daily. It does not abate. It does not decrease. It only increases. And what is only increasing now is the amount of pulsations that go along with it. So it's like filling in that space, filling in that, all these sensations as these hoses all start to unravel and everything starts to flow. It really feels like what it's feeling like. So when it comes in, the blast comes in, because it's like that valve that got locked on, right? Just like that fire hose. And the blast comes in, and then it's a very instantaneous, but at the same time, I can feel that it does start from here to here, right? And it goes hits.
So I guess people would experience those things differently, as if they have certain blockages in certain chakras and things like that.
All at a different point in the process.
But what I've experienced, besides the the cough, the tickly throat, and all of that, which felt like I'm just sort of getting a bug going around or something. I have been getting the popping ears and the ringing, but on top of that, I've been getting I mentioned a few weeks back how I had this sort of intense feeling between my shoulder blades up into my neck a little bit, and
really
that's changed to feeling just generally anxious, like I don't know what to do with myself. I've got all of this just energy, and it's almost uncomfortable even at times. It's not like I can say, oh, I'm blissed out and I feel like I've got all this wonderful energy it feels like it's like too much sometimes, like I don't know what to do with myself. You know what I mean?
Outlet more, like I said yesterday, like I absolutely feeling the same thing, because I woke up yesterday morning and I had this idea, and literally I've not been sleeping much at all. And what's unusual for me is I just wake up now and I'm awake, like I'm ready to go. My mind's going. It doesn't settle back down to sleep more, which is usually I could go back to sleep, go back into my dreams or whatever. But no, I'm awake and working. Like I worked on that video from the time I got up and till and put it out. I think I maybe slept 4 hours in between because I couldn't. And I'm feeling that too. If I didn't have that to work on, I would have been a sketch bag. I would have been, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
around the house. What do I do? And so thankfully I have creative outlets, but it's almost so much sometimes right now, because I want to do this and I want to do this and I want to do this and I want to do this. So I really have to make sure I'm plugging in and just doing the one thing and focusing on it, because yeah, I understand that. It's like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, and I've even like I'm like, well, I just need to, maybe if I ease up on the caffeine, it'll help, but I'll still be feeling that way and feeling sleepy at the same time.
Yeah.
And so it's not like it's not connected. It's not like I'm being stimulated by the caffeine and I just feel anxious or anything like that. Because even removing the caffeine from the equation, I'll feel sleepy but anxious at the same time. Like I just
Yeah.
need to do something, you know. And I'll even be like, I've been having to read a lot. You know, I'm reading this book for an upcoming guest, so I've been spending a lot of time reading, and it makes me drowsy reading a lot. You know, just it's just, but I still have that anxious feeling, and it's just different. I mean, I have it now, even, you know, but
Do you feel
it's
like you should be doing something? Like, aren't I supposed to be doing something? What it like, if you could put a word to it or a phrase, what comes to mind?
it's like a craving that I'm not sure what it is. You know what I mean? Like when you're maybe you're thirsty or you're hungry or you got to go to the bathroom or something, you just feel
Yeah,
that. It's like an urge or a
yeah,
cigarette. Yeah, it's that same thing. But you
yeah,
know, you smoke a cigarette and that doesn't fix it. You
yeah.
know, it's
I
just
agree.
it's an urge. That's all I can say. It's an anxious urge. So I don't know really how all that works. So, but
Oh,
it
you brought
yeah.
me a drink.
Thanks, Bear.
Thanks, Bear. The LED lights, courtesy of Bear. Hmm. Oh, that's
Oh,
nice.
Shannon's saying you're freaking me out. Me too, you guys. So,
Yeah, the anxious thing definitely really feel, and it's good to just recognize it. It's great that you brought it up, because it's not like just you or whatever, and there's nothing wrong, and there's not something that you need right now, but it really is good to just recognize, because we can just spin around in circles feeling like that and
yeah,
thinking that there's something missing, like what am I supposed to be. But if we do stop and realize, you know what, it's due to the energy right now.
yeah.
I have everything I need per se. So it's not that. And you got to put the practice in. That's when you put the practice. You're right. Breathe. You got to breathe. Like there, there really is, when you're going through this level of experience, no way around it. And this is what it calls you to do. And in order
Meditating
to
does
handle it
help.
and get through it,
Yeah,
you got to breathe.
yeah,
Go take a bath, find an outlet, or just remind yourself, just being aware. So when you're feeling that, you have the answer. You can say to myself, it's okay, this is what's going on right now. Okay. And then, just like when you're quitting smoking, wait, give it 2 minutes, and it'll be okay. Just the recognition, and go, okay, take a minute, breathe, just pull yourself back in, because it's just it's pushing you out. So you just got to, ground back in for a second, take a moment and breathe, and then yeah, give it 2 minutes, and you'll be all right. And if it happens again, well, that's okay, just breathe again.
yeah.
If it's
Breathing
pushing you to do
deeply,
it, yeah,
helps.
that's what we've been told to do from the beginning, and this is why it is so important, and it is going to become more and more important. And if you're making an intentioned and a concerted decision to take part in this process, there's no halfway, guys. You know, it's not a sometimes thing. So you're either all in, uh, or you're out of the game. So you've got to recognize, if you're realizing this is what is going on, how you're reacting, how you're feeling. If you do believe that it has to do with the energy, that you're involved in this process, in this ascension process, it's part of why I put the video. Now's the time. Now's the time to ante up. Now's the time, to dig deep and take on the challenge and actually work with this energy, because it's calling you to do that. So personally, I would rather take the energy and plug it in and do something with it than chase my tail in circles in my kitchen, not knowing what the bloody hell is wrong with me.
Right.
Right. So, but there is a process involved to it. And when you do make that decision to take on this challenge and to adjust and take on this energy, it's not an easy ride. But those difficulties are exactly what is required to push you to do what you need to do in order to be able to assimilate and accept this level of energy and the changes physically that your body requires in this process. You know, you have to have, just like if you're going to quit smoking, you have to have a strategy. Or you're just gonna, you're gonna go back and not. But if you have a process of saying, okay, when this happens, this is what's going on, and this is what I do. That is literally what will get you through. Because some days are great. Some days we're like, woo, Jesus love me, yay. Other days are like, I just don't want to be here anymore. My head hurts, my body hurts, right? But and you can get so easily pulled under tow. You guys have seen, I've shared that with you. I've shared my own experiences of being pulled under water with those sensations and those feelings. And what got me through was the friends, the healing, the practice, and that's the only way. Or you know what? I would still be where I was a couple years ago. Every doctor visit, a new prescription, right?
And how many people are doing that? Like, like I bet, they have Xanax just waiting, maybe they don't take it all the time, because I used to be like that years ago, where like I only took it when I really felt anxious or whatever. But how many people are going to the medicine cabinet because they don't realize it's not just them? This is like a cosmic energy coming through. And I thought it was the Schumann, but it didn't stop when the Schumann calmed down either. Yeah. So it's not directly connected. Maybe it blasted and that energy's still hanging around and I'm feeling that way. And it's just,
but we have to remember, it's the Earth's response to the energy that we're seeing. We're not seeing the energy on the Schumann. We're seeing the Earth's response to the energy.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's showing us how the Earth is responding at that time. And then, of course, if the Earth is responding, we're very likely to be responding as well. But it's not necessarily showing us what kind of energy is coming in, when it's coming in or whatever. We're just seeing the Earth reacting, just like we are, right? And so it's good to be able to see when those common reactions are happening. But we're not able to, see in every way exactly what kind of energy this is, what it is. So this is why sources like Aluna Ash are so valuable to many of us, because she's done an amazing job at breaking this down and giving explanations of what kind of energy is. And this is, intuitive work that she does. This, but the fact is, over the course of all these months, I have seen consistent correlation with exactly what she's saying and with what the symptoms are, when you feel it, what the energy is, and she's bang on every time. And so over the course of all these months, it's not like, she's just pulling out of her hat saying, okay, well, this energy, is just going to do, and we'll throw the dice and we'll see what happens. No, she calls it in great detail. And she's not the only one doing it. And you can find that sourced out all around. And it's been a great affirmation source for me too, because all of the messages, the words and things that I receive about what is going on, it helps to give me that confirmation too. Okay, I am picking that up. I am, that is the message that I'm getting, the visualization that I'm seeing in how this works, or how this is going to be felt, or when it's going to be experienced. So, she's a blessing for the novice and the and the practiced, both, because she provides information and affirmation for all of us. So she's done great work regarding that. But she's not the only one, but I find her the most level and detailed and even keel in the message, not swinging She doesn't, get into fear stuff or anything. She just keeps it simple. It keeps a very rational, a very unrational topic, very rational. That's what I like about it. So, and she's dead on.
Well, one of the things that I noticed help is, Eileen and I were talking, and then Shinty had called in on the Friday night show, but they were talking about visualizing the energy coming in and then blasting it out of your heart. You can
Yes.
imagine it coming from Earth and from the cosmos, and sort of integrating it and blasting it out. And when I meditate and I imagine that, then that all of a sudden that anxious feeling feels like it's sort
So
of getting
because you're
pushed out.
releasing it,
Yeah, it's like I'm releasing it. Just visualizing that, you know,
but you're making a conscious choice
to direct it outward.
to direct it, and the
Yeah.
power of that is absolutely brilliant. And with that recognition, you continue to do this. This is how we become superheroes in essence. So you're right, and that's a really good point to make, is that when you are feeling like that, that's when it calls for meditation.
That's the
And you go
urge,
in
huh?
and
The
you
urge
pray.
is the urge to meditate when you
Yeah,
can't figure
yeah,
it
you
out.
need to
Yeah.
meditate, and you need to release some of that. And listen, a lot of people, there's a lot of different strategies. I'm certain, that a lot of people in the chat can chime in to say, well, this is what I do to release that. Different grounding techniques or whatever it is. Those are helpful. The fact is, this energy is so strong right now. You can ground all day long and you still may possibly feel like this too. And this is where it's really important to instill the practice and the breathing practice, because we're about to deliver this baby, man. Right? We're
Seems
about
like
to
it, huh?
deliver this baby. I was 11. I was given the message, and I wrote it down. The handwriting's not even mine. It's so weird. Last Friday on the 23rd, I was minding my own business, and all of a sudden got a very strong message. And I look at the clock. This is why I wrote it down. And I look at the clock and I saw the time, and I'm like, okay, I have to write it down. And I wrote it down, and it's not even the same handwriting. But on 11:23, which would be 23:23 p.m. on the 23rd, I received the information that's Aquarian Christ baptism, initiate birthing process, water broke, labor to delivery. So I thought I'd share that. I wanted to share that. And then Saturday, I literally all day, this is for Saturday, what kept coming up, I don't know if you can see it, is the times. I filled it because every single time I looked, got up 7:44, 9:44, 10:40. You have to understand, I'm not looking at the clock at any other time. And this is the entire day. Every time I looked at the clock, this is what I saw. 7:44, 9:44, 10:44, 11:11, 11:44, 8:44, 3:44.
I've been
Like,
getting the 44s a lot too. That's strange that you
so I
said that.
wanted to share. I wanted to share that, and I did the 10:44 and 11:44. I looked up the angel messages, and that was another reason why I decided to do that video, because it all tied in. So I don't, I have it all in my Evernote. But if you guys are curious at all, go look up the angel messages, the numerology, the angel numbers for 1044, 1044, and 1144. And that's what I found there. And I thought that was very interesting. It's continued on into, Monday, 1044. So the 44 has been coming up a lot again. And the 411 has been showing itself for me too. So yesterday it popped up again a few times in a way that can be entertaining, because it's like you get a feeling now, and I look at it and I'm like, I wonder what those numbers add up to. Right? You're like, I wonder, and I can't help it, and I do it, and it's like, oh, okay,
That's
right?
so funny. I had 11:44 pop in my head today, and I didn't have any clock around me to be able to look to see. But I got up a few minutes later, and it was 11:48. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it popped in my head at that very moment, and I didn't have a clock to look at. Now I wish I'd gotten up to see, because that would have been a lot cooler. But I still can't be sure that it was right on the button. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm sure. I honestly, I wake up, I look at the clock, and it's always a synchronistic number. Always, it's beyond ridiculous. So I don't even have the clock in my room anymore. I don't even bother. I'm just like,
Yeah, I've been sleeping
yeah, no,
really.
I know.
Yeah, I've been up late and like going to bed at 5 or 6 in the morning, and then
Yeah,
sleeping super deep. I haven't really had any dreams in probably about
very,
a week or
very,
anything.
very
So
deep sleep, but for shorter periods of time. I'm finding because I'm not. I know I'm doing a lot of stuff. It's very, it's a strange sleep state right now. Very, very, very deep,
yeah,
like almost comatose. And then I'm awake. And then when I'm awake, man, I am awake, which is so strange. And like I could have had 4 hours sleep. I could have 5 hours sleep. I'm like, I'm awake. No. And off. And that is really unusual. I could sleep for hours. Not anymore. But yeah, and eating, I'm not really eating much either. So I want
that's
to mention.
odd you just said that because my daughter always says, "Oh, you look so cute when your eyes look funny when you first wake up, right?" So one day she goes, "Oh, I didn't know you were awake." I'm like, "I just woke up," and she's like, "You don't have that look. You look wide awake, like you've been up for a while." So that's so funny that you said that. It's like a little confirmation of what, because I didn't really know, but
411. 411. I just looked at it. 411.
love those 11s.
Yeah, because literally, I'm like, I'm waking up and I'm like, I caught myself actually jumping out of bed. I don't jump out of bed.
Right.
Right? Ask Bear. He's no, so that's so strange because I like to, and here I am. I'm up. I'm out. I'm working away on something at 8:30 in the morning. That is not me. Now I I attributed it to, at first it's like, wow, when you really find your passion and what you really enjoy to do, it's not work anymore, right? You just want to do it. But I think there's more to it than that. Definitely. So
Fun times.
let's see what else. Lots of notes. Oh, the eye twitching came back for me too yesterday. I was noticing. I put that note down because that had gone away for a while, but now it started going again. Severe woozy uh, feeling. Okay, yeah, and you know what we talked about in 5D and the frequencies and hearing him play the guitar and playing the notes and it causing activations. So, what I'm noticing is my ability now to tune in and sense and realize the activations. So I'm feeling activations from stimuli, words, sounds, pictures, light, color, and I will get that thing going on, right? Now I can feel myself downloading activation into my work, which is interesting. So there, I am becoming aware of the familiarity of the experience of activation, sensation wise, throughout me, feeling in great detail. And I am now recognizing that activations are stimulated through these frequencies, sounds, words, pictures, and such. And then now, as I'm turning and doing those creative things myself, which I have always done, and which, months ago when I first started on this process, even before I had the quantum healing, I thought that I felt like I was compelled that I should be doing work or artistic work that would cause activations, art to cause activations, but I didn't fully understand. I am now experiencing the sensation and the familiarity of the sensation of the activation, and not just me receiving activations, but I think me downloading activations into the work as well. And the stimuli goes both ways. So I'm feeling, physically experiencing the stimuli from the activations I'm perceiving, but I'm also now physically experiencing the stimuli when I am putting out the activations into the work
That's
or
interesting
into
because
the
that
into the people, or whatever it is, right? It's like boom, when I'm locked on, that I can now feel the the activations flowing, and there is a distinct physical multitude of physical sensations involved in that experience.
Yeah, and I think that kind of goes back to what we were just talking about, channeling it into a meditative state. And we've talked previously on this program about how how art and expressing yourself artistically gets you into that meditative state as well. So if you make music or you make art, and you don't want to meditate, sometimes you can take that energy and put it into something like you are doing. So
Mhm.
I think that urge can mean more than just meditating, is what I'm saying. It could mean,
Yeah.
pour it into some artwork. You might be inspired to create something that will activate someone or
Well,
something. You
that's
never
it.
know.
Maybe you are feeling that pull of releasing that activation that you're supposed to be releasing,
Yeah,
right? Not
totally.
just for you, because here's the other note. Oh, segue. Here's the tie-in. Here it is. Because what I realized Sunday, I wrote this. What I realized, here we go, click, click. I've shifted. Okay, I've shifted. Now it's time to shift the earth, right? Now it's time to shift the collective. And that's where we, as artists, light workers, and such, that it's time to do that. And I think a lot of that, the creation of that video really is about that message, and it really is recognizing that I feel the shift within me. I'm fully physically experiencing this differently now, and tuning into to so much that I never had access before. So I'm good on my track. I know what to do. I know how to do each day, get through my intentions. When I have a difficult time, I have strategies in place. Okay, so I'm good. Now it's time to, unfortunately, put the rubber boots on and go step in that manure yard for a little bit and start doing some shoveling, because it's not all about us. We're here to do a job. We're here to not just raise our vibration. We're here as conduits to help raise the vibration of the entire earth. Now, we will all have our own way to do that, but it is important to realize that, the process, like I said in the beginning of my clip, okay, great, you're awake. That's good. Good for you. You're awake. Are you aware? And this is really about, yes, we're a conduit, and we're shifting, okay, but you are aware that your job is more than just you, and if you decide otherwise, that's your business. It really is, and I don't begrudge you that. That's your mission, but this is my message to share, and it really is to call upon people to say, it's great that you've realized, this experience. Now it's time to take your shift and see what it is that you're activating in the world around you, because I think that we all have these activations to share, and that does not necessarily mean just walking up to somebody and going, those are chemtrails. That's not what I'm talking about. And it's not even about pointing out who the sinners are. It's not about that either. It really is about elevating the game and finding your own way, your own particular tool, your own way to do that. Not just for you, right? You start with you, because you can't fix anybody else till you fix you. But once you're there, now it's time to spread that. And that it's not, necessarily preaching on a street corner telling everybody they're wrong. It's about you digging within yourself creatively, using your creative expression, which is why so many of us are, to share those activations. So it doesn't have to be about getting up in somebody's face about them not understanding or not knowing, or cognitive dissonance, or whatever it is. It is about applying your creativity to the task of shifting this earth. So, not applying the preaching, but applying the creativity as I preach.
But yeah, that's a pretty good point, because everybody's got, we're all like cogs on a machine, so everybody's got their gifts. And I mean, whether you're like a nurse interacting with people daily, and you're just there to provide and spread love to those people, or a waitress, and you're
Mm-hmm.
there spreading the love to your customers. I mean,
Yeah.
it can be whatever setting you're in. I mean, it doesn't have to be like art or music. It can be wherever you're at. You can shine
Yeah.
your light and let
Yeah.
that flow through you and out to others. You know.
It's, you know what, that reminded me of the story with Sherry. She's the one who shared the video of the guy saying, "It's an awesome feeling, inner peace and happiness," right? That
Yeah,
he could
yeah,
open up. And what she would do is, these older people that really seemed to have really lost or and right at death's door and afraid, and she would sneak into their room and say, "Hey, watch this," right? And
exactly.
that's how that's how she was able to shift. And she used humor to do it. This, we can use all these things that we're good at. We don't have to use, the fear porn tactics and the pointing at the sinner tactics necessarily. It's a good thing to identify, be able to identify the symbols and things around you, to be able to see a broader picture. But there is so many different ways that we can apply our creativity or our humor or what is uniquely us into shifting not just us, but the earth as well. That's how we create. That is the point. This isn't just create the 5D Michelle. This is create the 5D earth. That's how we do it, right?
Yeah.
Through creativity, through creativity. And so now is the time to dig within yourself, to apply creative thought to shifting not just yourself, but the world around you.
And it is. It's like how oh, what's her name? Abraham Hicks, that she channels Esther Hicks. She talks about how like you become a vibrational match,
That's
and
right.
and it's like you bring that reality to yourself, and then you like pull others into it with you, because there's some that are kind of like, maybe they're not aware and awake, but they're good loving people, you know. I mean, there's a lot of religious people like that. They're sort of stuck in the system a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
on the whole, they're living a good life. They're spreading the love, and they're
Mm-hmm.
being, general, just like a positive impact to the world, despite where they're at, and despite whether they're aware of what they're doing. And it just plays out, and you can just pull them in with you, and people that maybe aren't awake can see what you have and want to be a part of it, or
That's it.
you know,
Well, I think if we've experienced downloads, and like I was saying, in realizing the sensation of the stimuli and recognizing the downloads in a different way than I was able to before, this is how I'm able to see that it's not, we've received downloads from stimuli, not really realizing how it was waking us up or what it was doing at the time. And it's kind of the same thing. It's sort of, it's kind of sneaky way of baking the file into the cake. Right?
right,
And you're going through, they don't know there's a file in there, but it's in there,
yeah,
right? And it's kind of the same thing. And so they may not, realize when taking the cake that there's a file in there, and there's no malicious intent on your part. You're just trying to free them, right? But maybe if they start eating that cake and they really enjoy that cake and they really like that cake, and they go for a second, third bite, fourth bite, and then all of a sudden they find the file. It's the same idea.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why
And
a lot of
that
people,
is a perfect example of why I need to make videos.
right? Because it really is a lot like fostering an awakening. I mean,
Mhm.
people planting seeds, people watering it, coming
Yeah.
along. I mean, sometimes you'll feel like, it's not working, but all of those seeds get planted, and over time they can take root, they can grow into something, and you might not ever see the end result. I mean, that person might be out of your life by the time it takes root. So
Mhm.
if you just plan it, do your part, and just trust that the rest of the process is going to happen over time whenever that person's ready, you know. It's really out of your hands. All you can do is plant the seed, water it,
That's it.
whatever you can do as that person moves into your sphere of influence in your life. Just love
That-
them, spread the love, and then, see what happens when they move on down the line.
what I was seeing there too with that chain was, with the seeds and the planting the seeds. And I kind of feel like for a while, with people removing themselves or separating themselves with, from the 3D, matrix mentality, I understand. And then investing and growing that seed within. And this is kind of where I see it's important to remind people, because I kind of felt like people wanted to hold their seeds back because they're like, I don't want to plant my seeds in this crappy 3D dirt. Right?
Right.
But that's the point. You're not wasting your seed in the crappy 3D dirt. You have to plant the seed in order to grow the garden that we want to grow. So don't hold on to all your seeds till you get to 5D new earth and plant them. Then you miss the point. You miss the boat. That's where the job is, that we're to plant the seeds in this dirt here now. And I know you don't like the dirt, and I know it's full of worms and rocks and doesn't grow things very well, but we're master growers. We're master creators. That's why we're here doing it. So don't hoard your seeds. Plant them. Don't worry about the condition of the dirt. Leave that to God. Just plant your seeds and just keep planting them. Don't worry about if they're not getting enough light, not good. Just keep planting the seeds. That's all you need to worry about. And then leave the rest to God. And you'll wake up one morning and the garden's all there and you wonder where it came from. So don't expect the garden to just show up in 5D earth. Like you're just going from 3D earth. Oh, I hate it here. I can't wait to get out of here. And this sucks. I'm just going to wake up and I'm going to be in 5D earth. I don't think it works that way, guys.
I think you're planting bad seeds too.
Jail-free card.
I think you're planting bad seeds when you do that too. It's like you're sort of doing the opposite of what you should be doing. Because we have a limitless amount of seeds. That's another point to say.
Yeah.
So there's no need in saving them. Don't preserve them or keep them.
I don't want to waste my seeds here because then once I get to New Earth, then I won't have any seeds left. Are you kidding? Right. You're gonna have once you get to New Earth, you're just gonna have bigger, better seeds.
Yeah.
But you have to start planting those in order to grow, because those new seeds come from those first plants that you planted with the original seeds in the crappy dirt.
Yeah.
And it really is, it's farming cycles and growing that, and that's how we grow these better and better and better seeds. And we learn to till the soil, and we learn to fertilize it, and we learn to let things go, because some things grow and some things don't. But don't hoard your seeds, because now is not the time to do it. Now is the time to dig in the dirt and start planting those seeds. No matter it's raining, no matter you have people standing around saying, well, that's just stupid. You're wasting your time. Nobody wants to look at those seeds anyways. Doesn't matter. You just dig in that dirt and keep planting those seeds. Because if you do that, you're going to look up and all of a sudden you're going to be sitting in your garden in New Earth. And don't think anybody is going to make that garden for you but you.
Yeah. That's funny. Pretty Dark said, crappy dirt is fertilized dirt. That's so true,
Exactly.
Amen.
Take that SH. I can't even spell swear words anymore. What's wrong with me? Yeah.
But yeah, that's totally true. And like when you think of the fact, like I was saying, that it's whether you're an artist, I mean, can you ever run out of things to paint and create? If you're a musician, will you ever run out of music to create? I mean, I guess there's some people have writer's block and things like that, but that's usually due to other situations in their life. They're not like just letting it flow or whatever. But like,
that's right.
Like, who was it? Aurora was just talking about. She's a waitress and she spreads the love. I mean, will you ever run out of love to spread to people? I mean, sure, you can have a crappy customer that you have to like clean up after them, and they run you around, and then they don't tip you. And I think those are little tests. I know, my wife's a waitress, so I know how much it's hard to like not let that carry over into the next customer. You were a waitress, when you're not appreciated.
Exactly, and that's what I did focus on while I was there. There's Jessis. Everybody say hi to Jessis.
Hey, Jess.
Just poked your head in and made a funny noise. I'm kind of in the center of the house now, but that's okay. It's much more comfortable in here. But yeah, I did focus on that when I was working. It's just the simple act of direct eye contact and actually listening. I don't care that they're just telling me how they want their eggs. Make eye contact for a moment, because so many people don't anymore. And just taking that time to listen. And not everybody is going to receive that that love or that attention. That's okay, because there's plenty of other people there that are more than willing to. So you just move on to them and let it go.
And they'll
But that's
appreciate
definitely
it.
what I focused on when I was doing that as well. And it was the drama within the establishment,
Yeah.
not the customers so much. But it was like, yeah, I don't want to swim in this tank anymore. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
the sharks had her days in those tanks. I don't, I'm putting my wolf suit back on.
So yeah, it can be a challenge, but if you sort of make a game out of it, that's I think make a game out of it. See if you can recover from that bad customer and still, like
You take
you
it
can't.
personal. Yeah.
I got this saying in my head the other day. It was so funny. You can't piss on my bliss, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and it's really up to us whether we allow someone to ruin our day. You know what I mean?
It
So
really is. It really, really is. And you can get triggered, and that's okay. That's normal. The
yeah,
the the point is that to see it and go, oh,
yeah,
okay, let's take a step back. And yeah, don't take it so seriously. Don't take everything so seriously. Don't take yourself so seriously, and don't take everybody else so seriously. And humor is often a great way to get through this. And that's why I always say, you know what? I'll be serious, but I'll be silly too,
hmm
because they should go hand in hand. You can get a lot more information through to people through humor than you can through seriousness.
yeah.
So
I think the main thing, end of music is saying they suck at eye contact. I think the main thing is that, you take each customer in that analogy of being a waitress or whatever, you take each customer as something new and not be so robotic about it. That's
yeah,
what's, you're not even there in the moment with the customer. You're sort of thinking about, okay, I got these people need coffee, these people need this and that. And you're like writing down their order and you're not really engaging with them. So in that analogy, it's just not being too robotic and not really making that connection in that moment. I think is
look,
really the main
yeah,
point.
just look in the eyes, to make the eye contact and start there.
Yeah, look at
There.
their eyebrow or something. If
Body
it's
language will tell you, right?
yeah,
I mean, I think that's why I'm so good at it. The years of service, and sales industry teaches you a lot about people, body language, reactions, and sort of how to
yeah. How
maneuver.
smiles are contagious and all that
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
yeah.
even over the phone, you can tell someone's smiling and
And I would make definitely a point too when I was in the service industry, because I know that I can put the energy through with touch. And so when I would get the reciprocated eye contact and um, the genuine appreciation for the attention that I was giving, and it would really surprise them sometimes, like, wow, she really means it.
yeah,
Just hello, she actually really means that.
yeah,
Right. And I would make a point of, not everybody, but those certain people, just a small touch on the shoulder or the back of the elbow to send that loving, healing energy through. And I didn't need to say anything, right? But I know so many of you do that too. But you can see the response and reaction to that, where people would, by the time they go, they're, hugging me, they're almost crying, right? Because we've gotten so used to not being paid attention to, really. And somebody really looking at us and judging and just finding us interesting just the way we are, or whatever. So it is a gift beyond many can imagine, just doing that. And you could be at the gas station and come across the same situation. You could be in the grocery store and come across the same situation. Like, it's silly little things. Like, sometimes some grocery stores, you have to put $1 in the cart so you don't steal the cart, right? And some of them have them here and some of them don't. But what a tedious thing. It was so stupid. And it might be stupid, but I'd take my groceries and I wouldn't go put the cart back and take my money back out of it. I would purposely give it to somebody else. I don't. It's $1, but you know what? The look on their face was worth it. Oh, really? Yeah. You can have my card.
Wait, what store is that? Is that Aldi?
I don't. We don't have one of those here. Just some of them do, and some of them don't. Like I find the more
Oh,
generic stores, like the no frills bargain stores,
oh,
will do
okay.
it. People steal the carts. I think those carts must cost a lot, but the bigger stores don't. But some of them did. I don't see it around as much as I used to, but I think there must have been a go kart hijacking problem for some time. I don't
That's
know.
funny. Yeah, they steal the ones from my local, what is it, like Dollar General, I believe it is. Dollar
Mhm.
General. And you'll go up there and they don't have any carts at all, and then like you drive through the neighborhood and there's like, I don't live in the best of neighborhoods,
Everywhere.
but they're like down in the ditch and by the dumpster at an apartment complex because they just had a bunch of groceries to get home, I guess, and didn't have a car or whatever. And
Yeah.
you'd think like somebody walking up there would just take it back or something. I don't know. It's but
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
always brand new. But at the Aldi was the only place. Aldi stores were the only place that had the little quarter you put in there and then you can separate it or whatever. So
Yeah, yeah. They used to work. I don't know. Maybe it's just been dependent on where I've lived at
yeah,
times because I haven't seen them around here. I've seen them a little while, but they did used to see them in other towns. So I don't know. But it's such a simple thing, and it really can be that simple. By head up, and as you go about your business, whether it's work or otherwise, or just go to the grocery store or whatever it is just notice. Just take notice of the actual living, breathing people around you. Protect your energy before you go into that shit. Right. Go into Walmart. So you know how I feel about Walmart, right?
right.
But yeah, I don't even go in there at all anymore.
That's like a
I'll stand
testament.
outside and be nice to people, but I don't want to go in there.
I think from Black Friday until a little bit after Christmas or the New Year or whatever, it's probably it's almost a guaranteed test going in there. It's like whether you're going to have to wait in line with some crying babies
Oh yeah, because they
or
pay babies to
yeah
cry, and
or
I told you that before. They pay babies to cry in line at Walmart.
or people blocking the aisle and they see you and they just expect you, I guess, to go down a different aisle and
Yeah,
I don't
you
know.
get, yeah, you get the yeah, I know, I know, and this little things can just aggravate you, aggravate you.
Yeah,
Yeah, but see,
totally.
me, I'm the type of person I'll be like, "Excuse me, pardon me," I'll move their cart, and you can make a face at me if you want to. I'll just make a face right back.
It's funny. I just told my wife that I'm like, look how much I've changed. We pulled in this parking lot last night, and there was a parking spot, but like no other ones. But there was one kind of close, and this car had parked like way over the line. And I was like, 10 years ago, or maybe even 20 years ago, I would
Yeah,
have pulled right up like 2 inches off the side of them. They wouldn't have been able to get in their car, and I would have, because they're the one over the line,
right.
and they could have crawled across their seat or something. And I'm like, but I'll go down here and park real far away. I'm not that guy anymore.
Why bother?
Yeah.
For what?
To teach them
For
a lesson.
in the grand scheme of things,
Right.
really it's your job to teach them a lesson, like
Right. Yeah.
I'm not, like it's not like I haven't done it years ago. Yeah, I totally get it, but there's so many little situations like that, Shane, that we do without realizing.
Yeah.
you know Let me make a face, let me give them a finger while I drive by in traffic, I'll honk, I'll show them they're an asshole. No, you're the asshole.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, we're at the hour mark. What kind of
Yeah.
exciting stuff do you have? Do you have some more artistic produced videos planned? I like that last one.
I'm working. I have a list. I have a list. This is the thing. That's a great example. The video I did yesterday, that little thing. Like I have books full of that stuff, of like writings like that, and it's just so great that I'm like, oh, I never knew. I had no idea. Like it's like, what do you do with all this stuff? I can't write a book with it. I can't, and I have pictures in my mind that go with it, but I never had an outlet for it. So now it's all of a sudden I have, it all clicked into place as far as having an outlet for all these things that I've written down. So yeah, I'm definitely working on a few different things, but I'm gonna wait because I have that microphone on the way for the actual recording. So
Oh,
slowing it
excited
down
about
a
that.
little bit, yeah,
Very
to
nice.
doing the research. But
Well, for those hopping in late, I did include that link to the one you put out yesterday below, as well as a channel link. And your email is on the screen, wolf.art101
yeah,
at gmail.com. If you have any dreams you want to share, I noticed a few people were talking about dreams. If it's
mm-hmm.
something that you want her to dissect and give you her opinion on what it could mean, definitely send it over to her.
Yeah, I'll do a dream share on Thursday for sure. Now that because I was so frustrated last week after my live, I swear I wanted to just give up. I was almost crying because I was just so frustrated, and to try so hard and put so much information together and work and want to share it, and I just can't get through, and it was getting really frustrating. But um, this is a more comfortable setup. I think it should flow a lot better, and piece by piece, things are falling into place. So I'll be on doing a live again tomorrow night. Um, I'll see how things go as far as doing dream share there, but I think I'll stick to Thursdays as far as the dream share goes. So probably
Okay.
Thursday evening and then Friday afternoon for people on other parts of the globe. So, but yeah, tomorrow night I'll definitely be doing lip syncing mind challenge.
That sounds interesting.
Oh, it will be.
And you guys remember this bracelet I got from Carrie,
Yeah.
the Sedona video where we were at the Grand Canyon and all that. Carrie will be joining us tomorrow for a live stream with him, so that's going to be a lot of fun. So we have that to look forward to. And
Nice.
so yeah, that's about it. So
That's it for today, I guess.
yeah,
Yeah, it's good.
lots of
Lots of
love
stuff.
to you
Lots of
all in the
love.
chat. And oh, Raleigh, what's up, man? It's been a while. Glad to see you're still around. Okay, so I guess that's it. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Michelle, for
I'll,
coming on.
I'll go back and read the chat after. You guys got any questions, throw them in there now at the end. And if you need anything, just pop it in there. I'll go back in a few hours and I'll review the chat, make sure I didn't miss anything. And come join me tomorrow night,
Yeah,
please.
sounds awesome.
Okay.
With that, we'll call it a day, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good one. Peace.
Peace.
If you'd like to support the work I do, go to paypal.me/UOTF. Thanks.